Okay, I'm going to experiment with the toolz library for Python. And the code here is very much influenced by Clojure in a Nutshell by James Trunk. So I'm going to try to convert all the code that he writes into Python using this functional library called toolz. So I'm going to begin by defining a path to a book that is online at gutenberg.org. And I have prepared with a helper function that will grab the entire contents of that path and put it into a string. And to find out the words of that book, I'm just going to copy James regex there to find out how, the words of a book, like that. And next up, I want to see how many words there are. And there's a huge amount of words in that book. But what book is it? So let's take the 21st words to find that out. So it turns out it's Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Okay, so continuing with toolz, I'm going to use a function that will make it possible to chain functions or pipe functions. And that one is called thread last. And that means that you can begin by some data that you want as input to a function. And I want to find out how frequent each word is in the book. So what I get back is a dictionary with a huge amount of words and how many times they occur in that book. So what I want to do is to squeeze in something that takes care of uppercase words and lowercase words. So what I'm going to do is to define a function that will take each word and make it to lowercase. So that's my helper function there. So now we shouldn't have any duplicates with the upper and lowercase words. Okay, let's continue. So what I want to do is, because that list contains a lot of words and a lot of very common words in the English language. So I'm going to try to make this list a little bit more interesting by filtering out the most common words in the English language. So here's a function that grabs a word and checks it against a hard-coded list of words. So, and it will remove that one if there's a match. So let's run this function again. Great, still a huge list, but with a little bit less of common words. So next up is, because I'm getting back a dictionary, what I want to do is I want to sort that dictionary according to the most frequent word. And I'm going to grab the top 20 most common words like this. Yeah, and it turns out that whale is the most common word in the book Moby Dick. So I'm going to put this one into a function instead, like that. And I guess I've forgotten something. I forgot the return statement, of course. So continuing, I want to find out which word is the longest word in that book. And I'm going to continue with this thread last function, because I think there are a lot of powers in that ability to chain functions, pipe them, and when you find out that you need something more, you can easily add functionality. So what I'm doing here is I'm converting every word into a set, the list of words into a set, and sort them according to the longest word. Sorry, longest word. And I'm going to just care about the 20 longest words. So that's a list of long words. Let's group them by how many characters there are in each word, like this. Okay, so when chaining functions like this that requires extra parameters, in Python it can be quite verbose using the lambda keyword, but this threading last function accepts a tuple of two values. The first one is the function, and the second one is the first parameter to that function. So you can do, that's an alternate syntax. So I happen to know that there is a lot of palindromes in the words from this book. Let's find out which palindrome is the longest one. So continuing with that thread last function and beginning with the list of words, converting them into a set, and then I want to filter out each word that is a palindrome. So I have to create a filter predicate, a function, and I'm thinking is something like this. So I have my collection, reverse it, and compare it to the original collection. And a string, if you convert a string into a list, it will be a collection. So race car is a palindrome, and race cars is not a palindrome. So that function seemed to work well. And next up, I'm going to sort them into the how long they are, and just care about the last one because I want to find out the longest one. And it turns out it's deified. So this demo shows the powers of functional programming and how you can chain functions using the toolz library.